Hello, welcome to the City of Lebanon Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for Monday, July the 1st. Roll call, please.
Rikus,
Here.
Chad Kiger, absent. Bruce Polly,
Here.
Ron Edwards,
Here.
and Laurie Gross. Here.
4 of us are here. Has everybody looked at the meeting minutes? And if there's no question, I need a motion.
I move to approve as presented.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. We have 2 items tonight. Docket number 2423, YKO requesting conditional use approval to operate a massage therapy studio located at 1309 West South Street, Lebanon. Property is zoned general business and is in the thoroughfare overlay district. Ben?
Good evening, board members. I'll give you a quick overview of the application here, and then invite the applicant up to talk about their business. So if they want to pull the screen up real quick, I'll just show you the location here on South Street. So you've got the used car lot, liquor store, and then it's the building sandwich right in here on the south side of South Street. It is currently zoned general business, and in the new UDO, massage therapy studios fall under the definition of retail, sales, service, and repair special handling. And these types of uses are considered conditional uses in the general business zoning district. Thus the reason for the application tonight for the conditional use. This is a massage therapy studio. They'll be run by 2 licensed massage therapists. They would focus on body massage, foot reflexology, and aromatherapy. Studio would be open weekdays from 9:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. And so in terms of the evaluation for conditional uses, we'll quick run through those for you here. Criteria number 1 is it consistent with the vision, goals, and objectives of the comprehensive plan? The comprehensive plan currently designates the South Street corridor for commercial land uses. The applicant is proposing commercial land uses consistent with this vision and goals. Criteria number 2 is it complies with the requirements of the Unified Development Ordinance. There are no specific requirements for uses that fall under the definition of special handling retail. The proposal by the applicant does meet all applicable requirements of the general business zoning district. The third is it compatible with the character of the general vicinity? South Street corridor includes a variety of commercial uses that include restaurants, used car sales, auto parts store, auto repair, and an HVAC contractor. Proposed use by the applicant is compatible with the character and uses within the general vicinity. Criteria number 4 can be adequately served by essential public facilities and services. The proposed site, as you can see, it's an existing building, is adequately served by all public facilities and services already provided to the site. Criteria number 5, it does not create circumstances detrimental to people, property, or the general welfare by promoting excessive traffic, noise, smoke, fumes, glare, odor, or other conditions incompatible with uses permitted in the zoning district. In this case, we determined the proposed massage therapy studio will not create any circumstances that would be detrimental to uses permitted in the zoning district. Final criteria is it allows for orderly development of the surrounding property for uses permitted in the district. And we have determined, staff has determined that the proposed massage therapy studio will not impede the development or use of surrounding properties for permitted commercial uses. So with that, having run through all of the evaluation criteria and determined that they meet those criteria, finally, staff recommendation review of the requested conditional use for the allowance of a massage therapy studio in the general business zoning district. Lebanon planning staff recommends approval. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any for me.
Do massage therapists have to be licensed in the city of Lebanon?
We don't have a local licensing, but there is a state licensing for massage therapists, and both of the applicants are licensed massage therapists by the state of Indiana.
Is this the second one in Lebanon then, or I'm sure there's some hit and miss that we don't know about, but
we have now off the top of my head, but I think there is 1 or 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
One up by the reporter office, isn't there, that was before us a couple, 3 months ago?
Yeah,
or something?
I don't think they do massage therapy there, but they do have other salon type services. But yeah, it's a similar type of service, yeah.
Would the applicant want to step forward and tell us a little bit about it? Don't have to. Well, this is an open public meeting. Is there anybody from the audience that wants to address the board? Okay, we'll close the public end of the meeting. And if there's no further questions, look for a motion.
Make a motion to approve the conditional use for the allowance of a massage therapy studio in the general business zoning district.
I'll second.
Kelly. Saw her sitting back there. I haven't seen her forever.
Corey Coons,
Yes.
Bruce Polly,
Yes.
Ron Edwards,
Yes.
Lori Gross.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Congratulations. Good luck. Okay, we have one more tonight, and it is the Lebanon Dairy Queen located at 2005 North Lebanon Street, docket 24-24. Property is zoned general business again, is within the thoroughfare overlay district, and is 0.884 acres.
Up here. Guessing most folks are familiar with the existing Dairy Queen property and the sign they have out there that's been there for a long time. If they want to go ahead and pull up, you can see here the existing Dairy Queen sign, and I will just identify the fact that this is an existing, it's a legally existing non-conforming sign. We do not permit pole signs anymore like we did back in the day. And then it was also quite a bit larger. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong, here, the existing sign. There we go. That makes more sense now. It is both taller and larger than permitted by ordinance, in addition to being a sign type that we don't permit anymore. So we were approached by the sign company about the fact that they wanted to modernize this sign and provide them something that'll be beneficial to them in the future, and work through with them the standards that are required. So they were able to come back with a monument sign design that meets the standards. They've been able to reduce the height, so it meets our height requirements. And then they've reduced the size to the point where they're comfortable with the size in terms of still allowing good visibility for the signage in the site from Lebanon Street. And so I'll just run through the requirements. Current UDO would allow them a monument sign to be 12 feet tall and 45 square feet. As you can see, this existing sign is a little over 20 feet tall, and it's about 90 square feet. So it's about twice the size as what's permitted now. So what they've proposed as an alternative is what you see here, this monument sign. And this monument sign has been reduced so it meets the height requirements of 12 feet. And then they're proposing about just under 60 square feet, about 59 square feet. So they've reduced the size significantly and also reduced the height so it meets our size requirements. But they do want to be able to have the electronic message board sign as you see on here, and then also the DQ logo that everybody's familiar with at the top. And so as I mentioned, while it is a significant reduction in the size from the existing sign and also is transitioning to a permitted sign type, it does still exceed the maximum square footage permitted on the site. They're asking for about 60 square feet, and it's permitted 45 square feet. Just a quick explanation of how the new UDO is written in terms of signs and how size is determined. We actually have a sliding scale depending on the classification of the road and the speed limit on that section of road. So as the roads go from 2 lanes to 4 lanes, and then the speed limit rises, you progressively are permitted a larger square footage of signage, so it's still visible on that road. In this case, because it is a 35 mile per hour speed limit, they are permitted the 45 square feet. So
Is that the speed limit or the average speed driven?
well, yeah, there's probably some discrepancy between those two numbers, I'm sure, out there. And then also just to highlight a couple other things, I know we've had electronic message boards before where they're only permitted to be a certain percentage of the sign size. The new UDO will allow all square footages allowed on the site to be electronic message board. I know they're becoming much more prevalent. So we do allow the full square footage to be an electronic message board as long as it meets the following requirements. That the display time has to be at least 8 seconds. And then the transition has to be an instant change. Illumination levels can be no brighter than 0.3 foot candles above ambient light conditions. And then proper maintenance is required. So if it begins malfunctioning, it has to be turned off or repaired or disconnected within 48 hours of the initial malfunction. So just wanted to highlight some of those requirements that are now in the UDO related to electronic message boards and what they're permitted. So again, as I mentioned, this is a variance request to allow a larger sign that's sign size, square footage is permitted by ordinance. So there are 3 criteria that must be met in order to consider a variance application. The first is that the approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. Staff's determined that relief from the monument size sign requirement will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. The proposed sign will meet all applicable setbacks from the property line to ensure that it does not obstruct visibility along adjacent roadways. Second, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be substantially affected in an adverse manner. Staff's determined that the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The proposed sign replaced an existing non-conforming pole sign that was almost twice the size and height with something that's more modernized and meets the sign type requirement and is much smaller in size. And 3, the strict application of the terms of the UDO will result in practical difficulties in use of the property. Staff's determined the strict application of the terms of the UDO will result in practical difficulties. The applicant is replacing a sign type that is non-conforming, the pole sign, with one that is conforming, and is significantly reducing the overall height and size such that the height meets the UDO requirement and the size is only 15 square feet larger than permitted. Because the site is lower than the adjacent roadway and there is minimal signage on the building, the monument sign is essentially the only method to identify the site, and the additional size is warranted. With that, then, staff has recommended approval of the development standards variance request to permit relief from the monument sign size requirements of the UDO to allow a 59 square foot sign. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does the applicant want to step forward and make any comments or talk about it at all?
Wanted to let the board know that my intent is to improve the facility. Some of you may have been by recently. I've painted the exterior. We're going through some additional remodels, and one of the steps of a total remodel would be this sign. I did my very best to comply with current law as best I could, and I came a little short, but I'm asking for the variance because I think the overall visual will be much better for the drive down Lebanon Street, and it'll have a more modern look for everybody. Thank
What
you.
you've done so far is outstanding.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, we need your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Jeff Whitaker, 2005 North Lebanon Street, Lebanon, Indiana.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No questions? That time again. Wait a minute. We got to open it to the public for, so it is a public meeting. Anybody from the audience care to step forward and address it? Christy, you want to come forward?
Hello, Beth Porsh, 245 Reynolds Drive. And you've answered most of my questions, I think. My main concern was going to be the height difference, and it sounds like it's shorter. And what was the feet difference again from currently?
I'll answer it here in a second.
Oh.
Yeah.
How does this work? Then I just keep asking
Is that
questions.
the only question you have?
No, the other thing was just in reference to how bright and the lumens are and exactly how that will light up differently than the current sign. And my reason for even thinking about this is our property backs up to the Dairy Queen, and we have a privacy fence. But right now I can walk in our backyard and see the current sign. So if the new one is lower, that's great. But it's the brightness that I'm thinking about, because the car wash that's just kind of catty corner from the Dairy Queen is a very bright sign. So just from our personal experience being in our own backyard, 39 has gotten so bright, not only with the car wash and its flashing lights. And I think the dealership maybe 2 or 3 years ago put their existing light poles in there, but the lights themselves are so much brighter. And so really that was the main concern, just of us continuing to enjoy our backyard. And I love Dairy Queen. I go there a lot. I used to work at a Dairy Queen. So I understand even when people are ordering stuff, we can kind of hear that, but I find it humorous sometimes, because I want to say to the driver, that's called a peanut butter parfait, not a sundae with peanut butter. So I enjoy the Dairy Queen itself and have no problem with that. And you have done a great job with the signage and the paint job and the parking lot and general cleaning of the area. And I absolutely feel that's a positive. So really the main thing is the brightness and what that looks like in compared to other of these pixelated signs that are on 39.
Well, now that it's LED, it will change.
Oh, I understand that. And I don't.
Ben can answer all the questions. for you.
Yeah, and so I know it will change. I just am curious what we need to be prepared for is the main thing. And I don't think this matters, but I have a couple pictures of me just standing in my backyard and seeing the current sign, which is not offensive at all or too tall, but the brightness was our main concern. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
sure, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we'll close the public end of the meeting. Ben, can you answer those questions?
Yeah, all right, if they want to pull the screen back. So the existing sign is just a little over 20 feet tall. It's about 20 and a half feet. And the new sign is approximately 13 feet tall. So it's going to decrease in height by about 7 feet, 6.5, 7 feet. So it'll be quite a bit shorter than the existing sign, probably about 6 feet or so shorter. And then in terms of the lighting, and this is a terminology that may not make a whole lot of sense to some people that aren't in this industry, but basically what it says is the displays must have a brightness level no greater than 0.3 foot candles above ambient light conditions. So what that means is if when the sign is off, you take a light level, and when you turn it on, it can only raise by 0.3 foot candles, which by the way is not very much. So during the daytime, obviously it's pretty bright outside, and that sign will be fairly bright, but at nighttime it has to be dimmed such that it's not changing by any more than 0.3 foot candles. So while again, you'll still see light, that dimness will have to be monitored to make sure that it doesn't impact it any more than that 0.3 foot candles. We've done the public hearing, but if you have questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them after the meeting. But 0.3 foot candles, what that means is it is not a significant change in light. Yeah. But I'd be happy to talk to you after the meeting if we walk through any more questions you have. But yeah, so 0.3 foot candles, essentially, you barely would even notice a difference in the brightness in that case. Normally at residential property lines, we allow as much as 1 to 3 foot candles of light. So this wouldn't even change it very significantly at all.
I have one quick question. How do heights vary on the current sign versus the current signs? I guess I'll call it message board compared to the new message board. How much difference is there in height there?
From the existing to the new one?
If I did the math right, it starts at 4.5.
They're both 4 by 8, so they're essentially the same size.
But as far as height from,
From grade, you mean?
from 12 foot, I guess.
So I don't have a measurement of the height of the message board now.
You're
But I can
51
tell
inches
you,
below top of the,
yeah, the new one is approximately 4.5, about 8 to 9 feet to the top of it. My guess is the
I'm good
height,
with that.
my guess is the height is roughly similar to what it is now based on just looking at the scale of this existing sign.
okay, any other questions for Ben?
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve docket 24-24 as written.
Second.
Boots,
I'm going to abstain.
Polly,
Aye. Yes.
Ron Edwards,
Yes.
Lori Gross.
Yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Good luck. Keep up the good work. Is there anything else tonight that we need to bring up? If not, the next meeting will be August the 5th at 7 p.m., Monday, August 5th, 7 p.m. right here. Look for a motion to close.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.